5 common signs that somebody is high on cocaine, and I share from experience. I am a recovering cocaine and alcoholic addict. My name is Eric. If you're new to the channel, hit the like and follow button. These are the 5 most common signs. There's probably going to be more signs than just 5 in this. That is that somebody's using this drug. And again, I'm sharing for educational purposes only because this is a hard drug to detect if somebody is using. And there's a lot of family members out there, kids out there, husbands, spouses, whatever, that you're like, man, my spouse is on something. I don't know what though. Here's if it's cocaine. The first one is they are going to constantly be disappearing. When it comes to cocaine, it's only going to last in your system 10, 15, maybe 20 minutes. And you have to keep it going. If you don't, you hit a cocaine drop. So you're going to notice that the person all of a sudden is going to start disappearing constantly throughout the night. And they're probably going to complain about IBS or something of that sort and constantly be going to the bathroom. And you're going to hear weird stuff in the bathroom. Like you're going to hear the toilet flush with the sink on the whole time. You're going to hear stuff like this. That doesn't make any sense. So keep that in mind. These are very hard things. Like you have to know what you're looking for. Unfortunately, a lot of times hindsight's 2020 with these. The next thing is the reason that they keep disappearing is they're going to be very moody. They're going to either be very energetic, feeling great, big mood energy, or they're going to start becoming pulled back, kind of stuck in their head, a little bit irritated, a little bit short. And that's the cocaine drop. So you're hitting this massive flood of dopamine for 10, 15 minutes of big mood energy. And then once that starts to go out of your brain and it stops producing it, that's when that mood and temperament really kicks in. And so you're going to notice that throughout the whole time, they're up and down is very erratic all of a sudden. Another thing is they are going to be complaining about sinuses. The one thing that somebody who's constantly using coke, they are constantly going to be just sniffing up their nose, constantly trying to clear out their sinuses, their nose, because of how much damage cocaine does to your nostril. It creates a whole mucus buildup that you're going to just start clearing out constantly because it's just going to keep dripping. So they're going to all of a sudden be talking about sinus issues. They're going to be constantly moving around. Flood of dopamine, it's very hard for somebody to have a chill. Now they're going to be up and moving, and so they might be doing dishes all of a sudden and cleaning all of a sudden. Like they have to do something to kind of fill their time. They're not going to make any eye contact with you because you can tell by their eyes. Their eyes do get very pinpointed. So one of the things that you can tell is by their eyes that they don't want to make eye contact with you. You will also find a big sign that somebody is using cocaine is that all of a sudden, when it comes to just their body and their face, there's this whole tension. So, a massive flood of dopamine from cocaine is going to shoot cortisol through the roof. Cortisol is that stress hormone. And so it tenses everything up. Your body goes into fight or flight mode. And that's where that jaw tensing really kind of comes into play. Again, this is, like I said, a very hard drug to catch people using. As much as you think that it's like, hey, oh, dude, this guy's on coke, you really have to look for the signs, and you almost have to catch them in the middle of doing it, especially if they're even ADHD, because cocaine does affect people with ADHD a little bit differently, and so they're going to actually be a little bit more mellowed out. And even if you go into the bathroom, you're going to notice these signs. Like if they're using a bathroom in the house, they're going to use a bathroom that's not a normal bathroom they use. If you go into that bathroom and you check underneath the sinks and stuff, or you go out into the garage because they keep disappearing out there, start looking around. You're probably going to find a plate somewhere. You might find a credit card. You might find a rolled up bill. You might not find the baggie at all, but you're probably going to find the stuff that they're using to actually snort it there. These are the signs really of cocaine use, and it's just more of the habits that you have to really pick up on. If you're with somebody and they're just a very mellow person, they're usually really engaged, and just for some reason that night they just seem to just, man, what's in your skin? Why are you being a lot all of a sudden? Just come and sit down next to me, and they can't. They're probably using. And again, you have to, unfortunately, even with the addict, almost look at our past. Like, hey, has this person struggled with addiction before? If they have they relapsed? There's a shift in personality. And that's why, I wish there were really simple signs to tell if somebody was using something. The easiest way to tell is a pee test. That can tell, even with cocaine, it will last in your system in a pee test for like 48 hours. Sometimes it will last even longer than that, depending on like how much cocaine you're actually doing. That will tell you if they're on something. But again, let's face it, like the reality of looking at somebody who you love and being like, hey, I need you to take a pee test right now. And you've never questioned if they were on drugs before or anything like that. It's a little bit awkward, and why are you asking this? So you're probably going to get hit with some resistance. But I also will say is if you do confront somebody, even with cocaine, and you're like, hey, are you on something or what are you doing? There's going to be a defense mechanism that kicks in. Just like them going to the bathroom and having the sink on the whole time while they're supposedly going to the bathroom and then flushing the toilet, odds are that there's something weird going on there. So the amazing thing is that if you confront somebody, there's this constant fear and constant paranoia of getting caught. You're trying to hide this. So if you are confronted, instead of just that normal, like, what? Like if you ask anyone that normal and you're like, hey, dude, are you high on coke? They're gonna look at you and be like, no, why? But if you ask somebody who's actually using it, they're going to get very defensive, and it's going to be a noticeable defensive. Like it's going to be somewhat aggressive. Like there's no way I'm going to effing do that. Like how dare you? It's going to be in your face some. It's almost like you have to overcompensate to try and get somebody to believe that you're not using. That's a really messed up part about addiction and how we are and how defensive we get. But again, it's hard to tell. And you people are probably using in your if you're with an addict, they're using in the house and you just don't realize it. You just haven't caught them yet. And even if you catch them, they're gonna fight it. But this is the reality of it, and it's the reality of this addiction in a sense. And that's why, I mean, I share for educational purposes only. Like I said, I am a recovering cocaine and alcoholic addict. I got sober 7/25/17, and it's finding out what works for you, whether it's going to inpatient treatment or outpatient treatment. I have a refined recovery down below. They're amazing rehab. Download Sunflower Sober. It's on iOS and Google Play. I have it down below too. You got 24-hour sponsor support with Sam, your AI sponsor. You have a whole community there of support and people to help root you on and give you tools and resources. There's a whole resource area and learning area to understand addiction. There's a journaling area. There's therapists. There's so much in there to get sober and stay sober with Sunflower. Amazing app. You go to a doctor, a psychiatrist, a therapist, get on the right meds. Go to an AA meeting, an NA meeting, an Al-Anon meeting, go to all the meetings and then some. I mean, the one thing I will say with cocaine is that it is a very brutal drug because those relapses and those cravings aren't what a lot of people think. It's not a very physical craving. It is this craving that just kind of creeps into your head, and it just is like this internal voice constantly telling you, man, if you just this time it'll be different, and this time let's just do a little bit this time, and we can control it this time. It's like the one ring from Lord of the Rings, where it's like just constantly whispering at you to put it on, and that's what your cravings truly are like. And there's a lot of depression that goes along with cocaine use, especially when you stop, just because of how quickly it rewires your brain. There is such a quick tolerance to it. The half life is something that processes through your system in 15 to 20 minutes. You're going to build this massive tolerance. This is a massive amount of dopamine, so your brain shuts down dopamine receptors, and it just doesn't overcome it and build it all back overnight. And that's one of the hard parts with getting sober from cocaine and realizing, I will say this, it's almost easier to realize somebody's getting sober from cocaine because they're constantly talking about depression and it's getting worse and just how horrible it is up here, versus actually knowing if they're on it. That is kind of like the scary oxymoron about cocaine, is when it comes down to being easier for somebody to explain what these withdrawals are like versus what it was like using. And again, I know I've missed signs. Comment down below. These were common signs of mine. I was doing a lot of cocaine. I used at home. I hid it however I could, but I just constantly used. And that was the scariest part about it, is that it became just a normal way I looked at medicating my life. And it was a normal part of my life. But ultimately, in the end, we do get sober, we do recover, and you have to fight for it. And when you come to getting sober, I don't know how long it's going to take for it to get better. Again, comment down below. If you haven't hit the like and follow button, hit the like and follow button, because I think that's the important thing when it comes to cocaine and getting sober, is knowing that it will get better, but who knows when. It could be a month, it could be 3 months, it could be a year. For me, it was over a year that it took for me to actually start like being okay with my head and my thoughts, and it was a struggle. And so really getting to that point where you can, realize that, yes, it's going to suck, but it will get better. Not giving up. For the one going through it right now, I am proud of you. Don't give up. It does get better. You're worth it.